Red dirt, empty bellies, and the long road west. My sharecropper life in Alabama. Hey there, y'all. My name's Clara Mae Thompson, and I reckon I'm telling the story from a place far from where it all started. I was born in the spring of 1923 on the scraggly little sharecropper farm outside of Dothan, Alabama, down in the Wiregrass country, where the soil runs red as blood and cotton grows stubborn as sin. I was the middle child of 7, with 2 older brothers who could already swing a hoe by the time I could walk, 3 little sisters trailing after me like ducklings, and a baby brother who came along right when the hard times got their worst. Our cabin sat on 40 acres we didn't own, not a single inch. The landowner, Mr. Wilcox, lived in the White House with the red glass windows up on the hill. Ours was a shotgun shack with pine board walls full of knotholes, a tin roof that leaked when it rained and baked us like biscuits when the sun beat down. The floor was packed dirt, swept smooth every morning by Mama, with a broom made of broom sedge. We had 2 rooms, one for sleeping, one for cooking and living, and a lean-to out back for the wash pot and the outhouse. Morning started before the sun cracked on the horizon. Daddy would shake us awake with his calloused hand. "Time to rise, youngins. Cotton waiting." We'll pull on the same patched overalls and flour sack dresses we wore every day, eat a cold biscuit left from supper, if there was any, and head to the fields. I started picking when I was 6. My small fingers could get into the bowls better than any grown folks. The cotton stretched out in long rows, like white sea under the Alabama sun. By noon, the heat would shimmer off the red dirt, waves of it rising, like you could see the devil's breath. Your skin burned, sweat stung your eyes, and the dust coated your throat till you coughed up red mud. The boll weevil came first. Tiny black devils that ate the heart right out of the cotton squares before they could bloom. Then the droughts hit hard. Summers when the sky stayed blue, and cruel for months, no rain at all. The ground cracked open like old skin, wide fissure you could lose a hoe in. Crops wilted and turned brown before our eyes. One year the wind came howling across the fields, carrying topsoil away in red clouds that blotted out the sun. We tie wet rags over our faces just to breathe. Mama's garden, our only hope for vegetables, dried up to nothing but dust and a few shriveled okra pods. Evenings we'd come home bone tired, backs bent like old women, fingers raw and bloody from the sharp bowls. Mama cooked on a wood stove that we had. Fatback, cornmeal mush, maybe some collards if the rain had been kind that week. Supper was quiet most nights, Daddy staring at his plate, worry lines deep as furrows on his forehead. He talked low about we owed Mr. Wilcox more every year. The debt just grows, he'd say, like weeds in the field. My family was my whole world, even when we was hungry. Daddy was tall and quiet, with hands big as skillets and a voice like distant thunder. He worked from can't see to can't see, trying to keep us fed. Mama was small-boned but tough as wire, always singing hymns while she washed clothes in the iron pot out back. Songs like Amazing Grace and I'll Fly Away that floated over the fields. My big brother Tom was my protector. He'd sneak me extra bites when he could. The little ones, little Lily, Ruth, and Betty, slept 3 to a bed with me, their warm bodies pressed close on cold nights. Baby brother Jesse cried a lot from hunger, and it near broke my heart. And school? We went when we could, maybe 3 months a year, in a 1-room schoolhouse 2 miles down the dirt road. I loved reading the worn-out McGuffey readers, dreaming of places beyond Alabama, but most days the fields called louder than any teacher. Then the Depression hit like a hammer in '29. Cotton prices fell to nothing, 4 cents a pound some years. Banks closed, and Mr. Wilcox got meaner, demanding his share even when the crop barely covered seed and fertilizer. We went deeper in debt. One winter we ate mostly boiled peanuts and watered down gravy. The little ones got so thin their eyes looked too big for their faces, and Mama cried at night when she thought we was asleep. By 1934 the land was played out, the drought worse than ever, and Mr. Wilcox said he was selling the farm to somebody who could pay cash. "Y'all gotta go," he told Daddy one evening. That night we packed everything we owned into Daddy's old Model T truck. 2 mattresses, a cast iron skillet, Mama's quilt, a few clothes tied in bundles, and what food we had left. The little ones cried. I held Ruth's hand tight as we climbed in, my heart pounding with fear and a strange kind of hope. We headed west, looking for work. The road was long and dusty, through Mississippi, then Arkansas, the truck rattling and coughing the whole way. We slept in fields, cooked over open fires, and washed in creeks. Hunger traveled with us like shadows. Just as I was turning 12 in the spring of '35, we rolled into the flat cotton country outside Lubbock, Texas. The land looked endless, miles of plowed fields under a bigger sky than Alabama ever had. A farmer named Mr. Reynolds hired us on the spot for sharecropping again. Daddy shook his head, but I remember standing there in my dusty dress, looking at them new fields, feeling both scared and grateful. My hands already knew the work, but my heart wondered if this red dirt would be kinder than the Alabama kind. And that's where the story turns, y'all. But the memory of Alabama, its red dirt, its cruel sun, and its sweet hymns in the evening, still lives in me like an old scar that never quite fades. So thank you for listening, and stay with us for part 2, Texas Dust and Wandering Roads.